Hey, it's time for another edition of Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week, you probably noticed we didn't have an episode released on Wednesday because on Wednesday, that's when we usually drop the new episodes of the podcast. Comedian Ken Flores passed away, or that's when we all found out about it. He's a Chicago comedian, 28 years old. He was a ball of energy, a rocket ship, just kind of blew up on the scene. And as big as he kept getting, he stayed kind and humble, stayed in touch with all the Chicago comics. He was a younger guy when I started. He was a younger guy when he started, and I was already an established Chicago comic. But I loved him. I loved watching him. And we stayed in touch. I kept in touch with him when he moved to L.A., and when we ended up doing shows together one night at two clubs at Improv, and then the Ha Ha Club. He was following me kind of as we were traveling. But he had just moved there and I was just doing shows. It was kind of cool to hang out with him and talk to him. He did my podcast, Singles Only, 2 years ago, almost to the day today. And I thought about whether I should release it or not and re-release it instead of a podcast episode, the new episode of Why Are You Awake? And I struggled with the decision, and ultimately I've decided to release it because a lot of people, when I posted about his death, didn't know who he was. I know he's so much bigger than me. He had such a great following, but we don't have a Venn diagram of followers. Even if I only have, a handful of followers versus his thousands, those handful didn't know who he was because we had different groups, we had different crowds, and I feel like everyone needs to know who he is. So if you haven't already, go follow him on Instagram, go watch his YouTube clips. I'm going to post all the links. This podcast wasn't videotaped, but I'm releasing it here with a picture that we took together right after, and I told him on the episode to take care of himself, and he will be missed. I'm gonna post links to buy his merch too. It's helping his family right now. I'll release a new episode of Why Are You Awake next week. But for now, go watch or listen to this episode with Ken Flores. It was episode 339 of Singles Only, my old podcast. And take care of yourselves. And Ken Flores, we'll miss you. Hey, it's time for another edition of Singles Only Podcast. No voice of reason tonight. We don't need it because we're just two bros talking about being single. Before I bring up our comedian tonight, I want to share a story of one of the funniest things I ever heard. We were at the Laugh Factory, and fellow comedian, by the way, Ken Flores, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a long time coming.
I've been trying to get you on here. It's been so hard to get you your schedule, my schedule, and you've been blowing up. So fucking funny. I saw you, the first time I saw you, just before I tell this story, was at Zany's. We were at Zany's together, and I think I saw you a long time ago when you were just starting. Yeah. And it didn't register.
I sucked ass.
What's that?
I sucked.
You didn't suck ass. It didn't register because I didn't see you all the time. Then I kept seeing your name pop. And then we were on a show at Zany's in Old Town, and you fucking blew up. Everyone, I mean, the crowd was kind of soft. I don't know if you remember the show, but I was like, fuck, this is going to be hard. I was later in the show, and you fucking destroyed. And instead of going from, oh, fuck, it's going to be hard to get them, I was like, oh, fuck, how am I going to follow this piece of shit? So that was the funniest thing. You're fucking hilarious, Ken.
Thanks.
But the other funniest thing is when a friend of ours, Sorab, called you the wrong name. He called you Anthony, right? I think he called you Anthony, confusing you with another large Latino comedian.
Another fat Latino comic, yeah.
And he felt so bad because I called him out on it because he always fucks up people's names. And then you said you called him the wrong name, which was I thought it was purposeful. I was like, what a fucking diss. You called him an Indian comedian by the name of Khalil. Yeah. And I thought you did it purposely, but you did it. Sorab is a Persian comedian like myself, so you did it accidentally, right?
Yeah, 100% accident. It just worked out, like the timing was perfect.
And then he's like, we're even.
Yeah.
Everyone was laughing. But Ken, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
You seriously, on social media, you've blown up too, and it's so funny. Your clips are funny. I've seen you in person crushing it. This has been a great year for you. How are you single?
You know what? At first, I think it was commitment issues. I was just always, you know what? I have high standards, bro, and I'm a very ugly person. I'm fat. I
Yeah,
weigh
but
like
you're on stage.
I weigh like 380, 400 pounds, but I don't want my girl to be fat. I don't want, like, you know, like I don't like, because you go on. Like, Dale McPeak actually has a bit about this where he says that every time he goes on dating apps, he only matches with girls that look like him, and I feel the same way. It's like I was like, this bitch looks like me with a wig on. What the fuck? But. And it's true, you know, like
you like smaller girls.
Not even. I like big girls, but not like me big. You feel me? Like, you know, like thick girls.
Understood. It's your preference. You're allowed to do that.
So every time I've been like intimate within the past year, like every time I got close to, you know, we started dating, hanging out, hooking up, whatever. Every time they wanna, you know, it only takes like 3 or 4 dates before someone's like, well, what are we? You know, whatever you know, what are we doing?
Where's this going?
And then it's just like, oh, well, you're not, you know, as a guy, you can't tell a girl, well, like, well, I don't really like you like that. You know, I just want to fuck. So it's like, that gets a little challenging, and I'm not that type of guy. So I usually just kind of go and I usually do the good old ghosting, man.
Okay.
I usually just stop texting back.
That's immature.
Very immature. But I'm young though. I'm 26. I guess that's pretty old now. But
no, that's young.
But
you're allowed to be immature.
The last girl I was really we really kind of had it going and we're popping off and it was getting real serious. She started getting mad because then, like you said, everything kind of started blowing up. So now I'm getting gigs, you know, like almost every day or whatever, which, before, you know, when you're an open micer, you might have one gig you're looking forward to a week.
Right.
If not 2 or 3 a month.
Now you gotta navigate 2 or 3 shows a night.
Right, exactly. So it's like, now it's like, hey, I had a rough day at work and you're about to go on stage and you just fucking, or you get off stage and you just murdered.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back to a conversation where like, oh,
how was your day?
Well, yeah, well, why are you feeling like that? I'm a fucking demon. You know, I just murdered at the Laugh Factory. I don't give a shit about the shitty customer at your job. And I guess you could say it's very selfish, it is narcissist, but I guess that's something that comedians do, you know? Yeah. So eventually we just, I think she wanted to hang out on a Sunday night. I got a last minute booking, which sometimes, you know, those are the best ones.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, fuck it. I took the gig. We were supposed to hang out. She got mad. I got mad. We didn't talk for like 3 days. Then on the 4th day, I sent her a message and she's like, I was like, hey, are you good? Are we good? What's going on? And she's like, oh, my mom had a stroke. Oh. And then I was like, dude, fuck this. You know, like, I'm not going to deal.
Oh,
like,
no.
I don't even know how to fucking deal with that shit. Like, that's how immature I am.
Right.
So I just like.
That's a heavy thing. That's a heavy definition for a relationship.
But she was a liar too, though. Like, she used to lie like that.
So it wasn't even a.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, fuck.
Because, like, she's like, my mom had a stroke.
I got shot.
Right. But then she's on Instagram sharing, like, SZA lyrics and shit. I'm like, dude, your mom just almost died, and you're sneak dissing me on how I ain't shit.
She's trying to make you feel bad.
Right. So I was like, your mom's not having a stroke. Like, fuck that. So anyway, we stopped talking, and that's been the last time I've been. And now it's like,
how long did you guys date for?
I mean, we were on and off for like maybe 4 or 5 months last year, and this month I got real lonely because I think I didn't date anybody from like the beginning of the year to like June, and in June I was getting like that. All right, like I need some pussy. I need something. Goddamn it! So I hit her back up. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Last time, you know, we tried to make it work. I was being real immature. I'm ready for something serious. I was lying. Yeah. That only lasted like 2-3 months, and it ended maybe sometime in October. Or so.
Okay. She's moved on.
Definitely. And by the way, I don't even try anymore because like you said, everything's been going so crazy. Like we just started booking road gigs.
Yeah.
Like I've never like.
You're on the road now.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy to me that this is happening. And she still follows me, so she's seeing it. So sometimes I want to be like, "Do you see this bitch? Like, you remember you
could have had this.
Remember we could have been on tour, bitch." And I'm like, and I just want to hit her like, "Do you see me blowing up?" But anyway, no, like, oh, you know, it's all love, you know. But, how
did you meet this woman? First of all,
dude, we go on Cheese Spot, bro.
What?
Cheese Spot? By the way, Cheese Spot. I recommend you download it.
What the fuck is this?
The Cheese Spot, by the way. If you ever heard of Tinder, throw it out, delete it. Fucking Bumble. I know you're not white.
Cheese Pot.
Cheese Spot. It's Spanish for spark.
Oh, so it's a Spanish site.
CHISPA.
I've never heard it. Is it for only Latinos?
It's supposed to be like mostly Latinos.
It's like Jewish J-Date is J-Date. It's mostly Jews, but not really.
Yeah, I've never been on that. But with the Chispa, it does. We don't like no Latina woman is gonna DM you like you're not fucking Latina. They don't give a shit. You feel me? Like if you look good enough, which I think you're a very good looking guy.
Thanks, buddy.
You would definitely get some pussy on there. You feel me? Like and that. I mean, I was getting pussy on there, so if I'm getting pussy on there, you could definitely get pussy on there.
Is it a hookup app or is it like a dating app?
Aren't they all hookup apps?
I mean, there's different levels. Depends what you're looking for.
These are Latinas. They're fucking there to fuck, you know? Like
Chispa?
They're there to have kids with fatherless babies. But I've never.
That's where you met her, and that's exclusively where you use dating apps before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I have had no luck with anything else, any other app. I am very confident on stage. No confidence when it comes to the ladies.
That's how we are. Well, how were you in high school? Were you a big kid in high school too?
I've always been a big kid, and there was a point where in junior year I lost. My mom took me to this lady to take like weight loss pills, and I got like it basically was like fucking Adderall, and I got real skinny. Like I was actually like pretty close to where you're at right now. Like I was skinny. And at that point, I was fucking killing it in school.
With women?
Killing it, yeah. Like,
where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Aurora, Illinois.
Oh, far, yeah.
So it's like, it's not a small town, but it's a suburb. So it's like you either go to one side of the town school or the other side, and everybody from either side knows each other. I was killing it, you know? And
just for that year?
For that 1 year, like I was like,
were they like, hey, Ken lost? Like they didn't even look at you before, and then all of a sudden you were like this hot shit,
dude. I was the shit, dude. Because like not only like I was used to only like even now when people see me, I'm usually wearing the same shit, and it's not because this is my style. It's because this is what fits. Back in high school was the same thing. I would always wear the same shit because that's what fit. And when I lost weight, you know, I'm buying shit at Gap. You know, I'm buying shit at Old. I never even been to those stores before. Like they never. So I'm looking fresh every day. You know, like I'm putting together outfits. The girls are loving it. You know, I'm texting multiple girls at one point. Like I never even done that before. I've never. You know,
how did it happen overnight? Like, did you just?
It was so unhealthy that it basically did.
What were you? Were you like in sports, or were you like a nerdy kid?
I was doing boxing.
Okay,
but the pills were like. Oh, sorry. The pills were. The pills were basically like the like without the pills I wouldn't have done it because.
But before you were just a large kid and nobody knew who you were. Were you quiet? Were you funny? Or what were you like freshman, sophomore year?
You know what's funny? I've always with the technology and the internet shit, I've always been on it. Like I had a YouTube channel, where I started putting out dumb YouTube videos where like in the prime of like Mexican moms be like, you know, just like real old school
funny
YouTube.
Shit.
Yeah, and I had a few videos that went viral, like we're on World Star Hip Hop, and just me talking
World
shit.
Star.
So people like. I always kind of had a little bit of a following of people. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say, I've always had fans, nothing like that. But in school,
people knew who you were because of that.
Was. Yeah, and that actually helped me in my comedy career because when I started, everybody was like, "Oh, we know he's funny. Let's see what the stand up is." But obviously, you know, you suck right away at the beginning. You gotta get
everyone
better.
does. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that's who I was before. So I was already I already had a network of girls that you know we had conversations. People wanted, you know, you kind of got female friends or whatever, your girl BFF or whatever. But now that I was actually fuckable, those conversations had changed. You know, like it's like, well, do you want to hang out? You know, or let's go to the movies.
But did you know that you were? Were they like sending you vibes and you had no idea, or were you kind of like, oh, I'm fucking now?
No,
you knew that they were interested, or you didn't know the difference.
God made me fat because I got that motherfucking sauce. Like, you feel me? Like if you give me a conversation with, like, I'm not gonna tell you in person I'm like that because I'm not. But if you put me on a one-on-one convo with somebody, like I'm selling this girl a dream. You know, like you're gonna believe
you're charming.
Everything.
You got charisma.
Yeah, and that's all I needed. Now I just needed. Now that I knew that
and
they
you had
knew,
the body now to match.
And now I had the body to match the swag. You know, so. When I had the body to match it, it was a killer.
Game over for everyone else.
Everyone else hated me.
Aurora's most wanted.
Dude, my ex was fucking mad. Like I'll show up like I would do it on purpose too. Like I would like hold hands with different bitches at school. Like I would like purposely walk. I know my ex is right here in that class right now. Let's walk past.
So you had an ex before that.
Yeah.
And she was out of you. Now you were out of her league.
Yeah. But she fucked with my best friend. So that was on her.
Yeah.
She brought that shit on herself. You know,
right.
I had no other duty but to shit on her.
So junior year, you're this. What happened senior year? You gained it all back.
I got comfortable, bro. That's what happens.
You're
you know,
fucking and then eating like mashed potatoes. What happened?
Dude, I was fucking.
Going to multiple dates, multiple dinners.
Multiple dates, multiple dinners. I mean, like, you know, you get to a point where you're just looking at yourself in the mirror. You're like, dude, I'm fucking super skinny. Like, I was. Like, you remember the pacer test in school?
No.
Okay, well, a pacer test is this test where you're in one end of the gym and they have like a little beeping noise, and then you have to run to the other side and run back. And as every lap goes on, the beep gets faster and faster. So you have to get fast. You have to make the
follow the beat.
Follow the beat. If you start making it past the beat, then you're out. So you get to be the last person. You know. Well, anyway, that beginning of senior year, I fucking was the last kid running. There's skinny motherfuckers sitting down out of breath. I was the last one up. So I was like, dude, I accomplished all my goals.
Right.
I'm the fastest kid in gym class, which I never thought I'd be able to accomplish. So from that point, I kind of started slacking off. I started drinking a lot. Like, people start partying, you know, and I started partying. I started going out. People started smoking. Like, I just got...
You got involved in the scene.
I got involved in the scene, and then you know, nobody gives a shit about the gym after that. Like, I did a few boxing classes. You know, you learn how to fight a little bit. You're like, you think you're fucking Canelo. You know, you're like, oh, nobody's gonna fucking beat me up. You know, like, I'm the shit.
Well, no one's gonna come. Do you get people fucking with you? You're fucking bigger than most people in the room. They're probably scared of you.
No, I mean, I never had that, but you're just like, oh, well, I don't need to keep going to the gym.
Right.
You know, so I just stopped going to the gym. Like, I just never had anybody fuck with me like that either. And but yeah, I just stopped going to the gym. I kept eating, and after that, I just got fatter. Like, I couldn't stop. I have a very addictive personality, and I should mention too, the doctor that was giving me those pills, her office got shut down. So I couldn't get those pills anymore.
She's under investigation.
Like, yeah, that bitch is gone. You feel me? Like, so it was like some Wolf of Wall Street shit.
So
bro.
Later in life, you're gonna find out that year was like probably the worst year for your body. Like, you're gonna be like, we'll sue somebody. It's good.
I'll be part of a class action for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I gained a lot. Basically, what happened is I stopped taking the pills. I started drinking. Stopped going to the gym. Gained all the way back. And then after high school, when I graduated class of 2014, I still wasn't back to like this weight right now, but I was already big enough where I was, considered, overweight. And then I got a job at Burger King, and I was working 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. as a high school student. So like, you're working fucking 8-hour days, 10-hour days as a high school student. You're fucking everything.
Free meals.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting off of work. My first meal is a Whopper. At 6 p.m., I'm hungry again, so I'm getting a chicken sandwich. 9 p.m., I want a sundae. 11 p.m., we're throwing shit out, so now I got to take some shit home. Like, every day I would
snack when you get home.
Yeah, I'm taking a fucking 60-piece chicken nugget home, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting home with 15 of them. So I ate 45 of them bitches or whatever in the car.
Right.
Like, it was just... I got into the wrong... I was in the self-destruction path, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm trying to reverse it, but man, shit get hard, bro. Shit get hard, and now that...
But it's good. I mean, look, with comedy, it's like, look, if you're the big guy on stage, you kind of always have to be the big guy on stage, right? Like
that's the thing that scares me, bro. Like, that's one of the things right now with my writing. I don't know what material I was doing when you saw me, but again, obviously, as a fat guy coming in, you're gonna do the fat shit. You're gonna do the fat shit.
No, but you have another layer of funny shit too.
Right. So now my goal is like I don't want to be the fat guy. Like, I'm gonna be the fat guy. I'm gonna be fat, but I can go on stage and do 10 minutes and not bring up my weight ever. So
that's why you're a good comedian.
I want to get to that level, So, but now not only because I don't want to be the fat guy, but I do want to lose weight genuinely, especially. Traveling and shit, that shit takes a toll on you. So it's like, I can't live this lifestyle
and make it for
fucking another 8 years, probably not. Fucking another 5. I don't see myself. So I'm like, kind of like in a crunch against time.
Well, we could talk about. I go on the road, and what I always do is, first of all, you got to stop partying after the shows at some point.
Yeah,
not today. If you do party after the shows when you're on the road, make sure you go to the gym every day too. There's a lot of downtime on the road, and you to take advantage of that. Yeah. And that's what I do. I mean, now I'm older now, so if I eat a Whopper, I gain 6 pounds the next day. So what I do is, I like make sure where they put me up, I'm like, is there a gym? And then they're like, if it's a condo, I say, hey, can I? Is there a membership somewhere? Usually, you can get somewhere. Go fucking work out. Listen to your set. And then you at least maintain, so you're not getting,
Yeah, I think that's one of my goals now. Is like maintaining. Like I'm gonna maintain. I gotta work out the amount of shit I'm putting in, and then also like in the past 2 years, I moved out of my parents about 2 years ago. So
get closer, Mike.
Oh, I moved out of my parents like 2 years ago, and those 2 years have been horrible to my health.
Right.
Because I didn't fucking learn how to cook.
Out. Yeah.
I bought groceries like 4 times in the past 2 years.
Just cut fries out for a year. Yeah. That's what I did, and it worked. Like, get the other sides you can get it at the places.
I think that's where I'm gonna start. It's a little shit that matters because if you're doing it 4 or 5 times a week, it's gonna make a fucking difference.
What's also gonna happen on the road is you've already been on the road. Have you had women come up to you now after shows?
Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy because then it's also like I was gonna get to that.
Our rating goes if you're a solid 6 and when you're on stage you're a 10. Yeah, you're already fucking blown up. So what happened now?
No, yeah, like it's like I wanted to lose weight because I was like, man, I want to mingle after shows, or I want to have the confidence to talk to people. But now it's like you're going on the road and you're fucking murdering for 20, 30 minutes. The girls are gonna come up to you, bro. Like they're gonna mess with you. They're gonna flirt with you. They might not mess with a dude that looks like you every other day of the week. That's not true.
Some people like that shit.
But yeah, that's true also. So it's like it's good, but it's bad. It's good because it's like, oh, I could, like, if I really wanted to fuck, I could see this happening. But I don't want that to encourage me into keep living that lifestyle. Right. I want to force myself to, because it's not even about the pussy anymore. It's about, are you gonna live longer enough to get some pussy?
You gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta be so.
That's one of like the biggest thing on my mind right now is the partying and the eating. Is because it's like, as a comic, the first thing is like stage time. How the fuck? Where do I get? And now it's like the shit is coming in like crazy. Yeah. So I don't have to worry about that no more. And I mean, not saying that I won't have to ever.
No, it's good.
But it's coming in. So it's like now that I can shift my focus, I want to shift it into better writing, a healthier lifestyle, and tone down the partying, because I am also getting older. The hangovers are not the same.
Wait till you get into your 40s, buddy. It's even worse. What are your goals though with dating? Do you want to settle down and have kids and be a dad or
Dude,
get married?
That changes like every day of the week.
Sure.
Like from like Sunday through
together?
Sunday. Yeah, they are. Okay. Barely, but they're still together. They're still together.
Yeah.
Like Sunday through Thursday, I want to be in a relationship. Like I especially those Sunday nights, man. They fucking suck. Like when you got no shows, you're just there like, I wish, like I want to watch this Netflix shit with somebody, or like, it starts to get chilly a little bit.
But you can have a date. You don't have to have a girlfriend.
Yeah, but I'm horrible at that. Like I'm not. I have a lot of like self I don't want to bring people in my apartment that like it's gonna be a one-time thing. It's gonna.
Why?
I don't know, because I feel like I don't want anybody to know anything about me. Especially like now,
you're on stage with. I know the feeling, but tell me why. What are your are you afraid they're gonna find something out about you and be like, oh, this guy sucks, or what?
Not even that. It's just like
they're gonna take your fucking social.
I don't want anybody.
I
don't want to feel like a fucking like a girl, but you know how girls like sometimes they won't let somebody fuck just so they won't have just so you can't say you fucked me. You know what I'm saying? Like
you don't want to give them that.
I don't want. Yeah,
you don't want them on you.
I have. That's why I'm on that app, because I have no problem fucking strangers. I don't want to fuck. I should have changed it. I don't want to fuck anybody that knows me as a comedian. Or
you want to keep it at a surface level.
Yeah, like on my
why
date,
though?
I don't know. Like I don't want to use that power to fuck, because then I don't know. Maybe it's just self-confidence. Maybe it's just self.
Well, it's definitely confidence issues. But now, like, you have this confidence now. You see you're crushing. Can't you take some of that into your personal life and be like, I deserve something?
Yeah, but I feel like one day I'm gonna wake up and somebody's just gonna expose me. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker like 7 toenails or some shit like that. You got some crazy shit.
There's nothing to expose. You like me talk about yourself on stage.
Yeah.
So if they want to talk to you, they know they're hooking up with you because they know who you are. I know you want to stay like hidden on whatever chispa or whatever the fuck that shit is. But they probably know who you are.
Yeah,
they Googled that shit. 90% of the time I hook up with someone or I connect with someone on those things, they're like, hey, I saw you at Zany's. I'm like, yeah, was I funny? They're like, yeah, that's why I'm talking to you. So it's going to happen. They know who the fuck you are.
But I think I'm just barely making that I'm barely making that jump, from an open micer to somebody who's working. So like I wasn't able to use it to my advantage at any point before. It's just now starting. We're literally talking about like 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that recent. So I haven't put it to the test. I could be lying to you. I should rephrase that. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
In about a month from now, we can have the same conversation. But like, dude, I fucking been crushing pussy after shows, So it's like, there's another thing. But I also
you don't even have, you're not, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I should also say this, and this is something that it has a lot to do with it. I don't drive.
Okay.
I don't drive, so my guy who does all my video work and everything, he does me the favor, and we work together, and he gives me rides to certain shows in certain places. So one of the biggest turnoff for girls is
you don't have a car.
I don't have a car, so it's
but now it don't matter. When it was back in the day, it mattered. But now no one has a car in the city.
Yeah, I don't live in the city. I live in the suburbs.
Oh yeah, that's
so somebody's gonna be like, "Well, pick me up." Or like, "Oh yeah, I'm down to go to your apartment, but pick me up. Let's get a drink and then we'll head back to your place." I'm like, "Oh well, I got
an Uber
to you." Well, yeah, but I'm like fucking 15, Like it's
you can be like, you have money now. You can be like, "Hey, I'm gonna send an Uber to pick you up." They'll feel like a fucking princess.
Well, see, I should be writing this shit down because you're giving me tips. I guess sometimes I'm just not confident enough in myself.
Yeah, car thing isn't gonna be an issue, especially when you're on the road and shit like that. You're on the road. You're like, "Hey, I'm in a hotel. Whatever the fuck, they can come to you. You go to them. Whatever."
Can't wait.
Yeah, but what is it that you keep saying? You're talking about pussy and all this shit, but you had. Is it because after your senior year, did you go into a dry spell for a while, and now you're like, because you're gonna when I have you back on this in like two months, even if it's a year, you're gonna be like, pussy's not gonna make you happy after a while.
You know what? I think that
for me, it was making up. When I was your age in high school, I was everyone's best friend. I was cool, but all the girls would only fuck with me as a friend. And then when I like realized I had confidence and shit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have sex with everybody. Yeah. But then at some point you're like, okay, what is that? It's still empty.
I think for me it was that there was not in the high school time there wasn't too much going on for me that I put a lot of thought and mind into a specific person or into two different relationships that could have been. Now I look back at it and it was nothing. It was high school flings. Right. It was whatever, right? But at that point, people we
all do that. Yeah.
People sometimes say, "Oh, it was just a high school thing," but they don't realize that when you're in high school, there's nothing else going on. Right. Like my life is this relationship and my part-time job. So at that point, something that may affect you a little bit now affects you a lot then.
Yeah, because nothing else. You haven't lived a life yet.
Right. Exactly. So there was like two different instances with two different girls where I felt like, wow, like I really fucked that up. Doing all the shit I was doing when I was skinny or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And now those girls are living happy lives. And I'm like, damn, I don't want, this feels like a fucking therapy session. But I was like, I don't want to miss the opportunity to settle down with the right person by fucking around again. So
you also, go ahead.
So I think that right now, like I do want to get into a relationship. I just want to make sure, like I want to scope it out, make sure it's the right thing. Right. But also I want to lose weight. So it could be the best thing, you feel me? Like I don't want to settle with
a better one.
Yeah.
I got you.
It sounds horrible coming out my mouth.
It's not.
But it's like, dude, I know that if I lose weight, my options are going to grow.
Yeah.
So I want to do that
You want to have as many options so you can have someone that you're attracted to physically too.
Yeah. But currently, no. Like there's girls you talk to or whatever, but not anybody that I consider myself dating or anything like that.
And also, you talk about high school. That shit fucks you up. You talked about your ex hooking up with your best friend or whatever. That shit that stays with you for a while. Like I had that happen to me. That fucks you up, So that shit's that's gonna stay with you for a while. Yeah. But you're 26, so you're gonna be able to fuck. You can make a mistake or two or 70. By the time you're like 35 and settling, you're in comedy. Yeah. Like your life is, as long as you stay alive.
Yeah.
Like you can make better decisions. But like, what is your type? Like talking about like, what are your? Let me ask you this. Let's go backwards. What are your deal breakers? What are the type of girls you just won't hook up with?
Dude,
you said what? Women that look like you, obviously.
Women that look like me, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, give me like 4 more of these twisted teas, I'm taking that shit down. Like I'm looking at I've hooked up with a few bitches that look like that Pac-Man machine behind you, bro. Like
Size doesn't matter.
Size does not matter. We're talking about settling down here.
Yeah. What about like if they're like don't understand comedy, or they're like, is there something that's a deal breaker? Maybe not looks, but like shit or music. Does that fuck you, piss you off?
Music, I don't care about. The comedy anything? Is definitely one of the biggest ones because my comedy is a little bit more aggressive, in a way. Like if I go on stage and we're doing crowd work, my response might be a little bit different than another comedian.
Right.
Like he might take it a different route. You might take it a different route. I'm going to take it a route. I'm not going to say it's better, but I'm saying it might not be. Not everybody's going to accept it because it's not going to be as lighthearted, and it's just who I am. I don't try to soften my shit down just because I'm doing stand up.
Yeah.
And I think that girls who not necessarily my stand-up that they don't like, but the jokes I crack outside of stand-up, maybe like everyday life or whatnot, and might say some. I've had girls literally. I've broken up with this girl. This happened like in 2019. I broke up with this girl because I was cracking some jokes, and she just got real mad about the joke that I said, and it wasn't even anything fucked up.
Thin-skinned.
Thin-skinned, yeah, and that, like, to me, that shit is fucking lame because it's like, well,
100%.
I want somebody I could be myself around more than anything. Funny girls, I love funny girls, obviously.
Well, that's confidence. If they're not confident, like you probably said something, whether it's like, jokey or guys, we break comedians are so mean to each other.
Yeah.
So you start doing that in the real world and people sometimes can't handle it. And we don't know our limits, but if they have a good sense of humor, they can.
Yeah, I've seen it work out before. And maybe, like, I've seen it work out really well with this specific person. We had great chemistry. It just didn't work out on her end. She had other shit going on. So it wasn't on me. So it's not like I haven't tried. I just thought that when I found the one, it was either on something with me or something with them. I don't want to sit here and make it seem like I'm the one that's
but you're not going to change for someone,
everybody.
even if they're beautiful.
Right.
If you have to walk around like on eggshells and be like, oh shit, I don't want to offend her, but this is such a funny joke, I can make fun of what she's wearing right now. But if she's going to cry, it's like fucking, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. She's got to be able to laugh at herself.
Yeah, that's one of the things about, like, personality is definitely a big one. I mean, looks, honestly, I know we talked shit up at the beginning or whatever, but I don't give a shit, man. I don't care. Like, I know that I'm not a fucking prize myself. So if anybody's doing me the favor to kick it with me, I'm always more than happy and welcome to hang out with somebody. It's more of just like putting the time where it needs to be. You feel me? Like right now, I feel like everything's been like going so crazy that like I don't have time. I have hard time. I mean, you text me about this podcast, and I skipped out on texting you back like a day or two just because I got busy doing other shit.
Sure.
And sometimes it's not that I was busy at every single moment. It's just that you're not sometimes always looking at your phone. You might do
you
other
forget,
shit,
or you see it and then you
fuck.
forget about it, dude. That happens to all of us. No worries.
Right. So now in a relationship or with a girl, it's like, man, you
can't
can't have that excuse, bro. I mean, it's happened before, like recently, this year and stuff, where it's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, are you with that bitch? Like, what are you talking about? I'm out with the boys, or I'm at a show. I'm at a mic.
I'm on stage right now. Yeah,
I'm literally on stage right now. Yeah. So you know what? Instead of like putting myself through that, just to be able to lay down with somebody or whatever, I'll just be celibate or whatever they call it now.
Jerk off. That's what it is.
Dude, honestly, like
you guys have you have the greatest porn and internet in those hotels on the road.
Yeah, there's nothing I've pictured in my head that I haven't been able to search up and find. Like everything is there. Everything is porn is like bits. It's all been done.
Yeah. Amen. True to that. What about so going back to the original question, do you think that do you want to have married and have kids? Do you think that's, I don't say now, but like you think at 45, 50?
No. That's another thing too.
So you have all the time in the
I don't
world
want to have kids.
Around. Yeah.
I never want to have kids.
Do you have brothers?
I have brothers. Yeah. I have a brother. I have a sister. I've always told myself this, even when I was in high school, I don't want to have kids because I am very selfish with my time. I'm very, again, a narcissist with what I'm doing. And I mean, it sucks to say or whatever, but I just don't. Like, I don't think I'd be able. And people, obviously, that changes. There's people that think like that, and then they have a kid, and they're like, oh, psych, like I
Change
actually
your life, yeah.
changed my whole life, you know? Like I don't
Just
want
fucking
to.
wear rubbers and you won't have to worry about it.
I don't want to go through it. Yeah, so exactly. So I don't
Carry
want to
around some Plan B pills in all
Right.
these cities you go to.
Yes, right. That's my goal also. But yeah, I
And
definitely.
you're not narcissists. Don't say that. You're
Okay.
self-centered. You're
I think there's
you're
just so many
focusing
girls
on
that call me
yourself.
narcissists
Yeah,
that-
fuck them. Everyone
Yeah.
says that. You're not. You're just focused on yourself right now, and that's not bad. People
Yeah.
make narcissists as a negative connotation. You're not. I know you.
Yeah.
If you were a narcissist, I've seen you on stage. You give people stage time and all that shit. You're not a narcissist,
Yeah.
but you're focused on yourself, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you tell somebody that you're focused on yourself and they take it the wrong way, but they don't realize, like, bro, like we're trying to live
This
off
is
this
different.
shit. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like it's not. I'm not out here fucking making carpets and shit. Like you. Like,
That's fucking racist, dude. Why are you saying? Because I'm Middle Eastern?
Oh no. Like,
Fucking piece
come
of
on.
shit.
No, it's just because you know that there's fucking. Everybody's doing the carpets now on TikTok.
Just for the record, we just got you canceled, bitch. He looked at my Persian carpet on the floor. He's like, I'm not making carpets like your family, Paul. That's what he said. Fucking Ken. Canceled.
But
I'm just kidding.
or selling lemonade, whatever you want to say, whatever. But
Sell lemonade.
like
People do that too.
Yeah,
No, fuck.
but I just want to like.
It's a different thing that we're pursuing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
know.
1% of society can do what we do. And even then, it's, what the fuck?
Yeah, and a lot of it is not even like just the time. It's just the stress of like, am I wasting my time? What am I doing here? It's just so much that comes into it that like I don't want to deal with anybody else right now.
Sure.
To be honest with you, and there was a time where I did, but not anymore.
Good.
Not as this shit starts to ramp up. The more this shit starts going well, the more everything else can go to hell.
Well, that's what good. That you got to keep that mentality when you're partying after shows. Like, focus on hang out with comedians. Don't go chasing pussy and fucking, I don't know, Las Vegas and shit. That's where shit goes down south.
Can't wait. I'll be
bad.
there for the first time soon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll tell you where to go there as well. But that's a whole nother story. Ken, we're out of time here, but
Crap. I feel like we just got started.
I really, really appreciate you coming in. Where can people find out more about you and your upcoming shows?
You can follow me on Instagram, Ken Flores 300. I have all my upcoming shows there. I don't know when this will release, but mostly in Chicago. The big ones will be early next year. So that way you can find all my links there. I'm also on the road basically for the first 3 months next year. So hey, if you are listening to this outside of Chicago, feel free to come check out a show. And then the TikTok's been going pretty big too. TikTok is the same as the Instagram, Ken Flores 300. If you do want to listen to me talk in circles for every week, I have a podcast called Talking My Shit Podcast. And I do that every week. So, yep, check
Is
that
that
out.
where can people find Talking My Shit?
Apple, Spotify. Apple or Spotify.
All this shit.
Yep.
Cool, man. Thanks, Ken, for coming on the podcast. And thank you all for listening to another edition of Singles Only Podcast.